Are you ready to dive into the wacky world of ducks? Get ready to uncover their secrets and find out why they waddle, quack and swim with style. You won't believe what you're about to learn about these feathered friends. So let's jump right in and discover all the fun facts about ducks. You see, ducks have special webbed feet that help them swim really well. These webs are connected to their toes, making it easier for them to paddle in the water. But when they're on land, those webs can get in the way. So to make walking easier, ducks lift their feet up higher than most birds. And because they're so used to swimming and paddling, their bodies kind of wobble as they walk. It's like they're always about to fall over but never do. And that funny walk is what we call a waddle. Isn't it amazing how ducks have evolved to be such great swimmers and walkers? The adorable journey of 5 little ducks. Once upon a time in a cozy nest by a sparkling pond, lived a mama duck with 5 little ducklings. Every day Mama Duck would wake them up with a gentle quack and say, "It's time to stretch your wings and take a peek outside." The ducklings would wiggle their little tails and peep excitedly. One sunny morning, Mama Duck announced, "Today we'll explore the big wide world." The ducklings couldn't believe their ears. They'd been waiting for this day forever. As they followed their mother out of the nest, the world seemed huge and scary. The tall grass swayed like giants and the rustling leaves sounded like whispers. But Mama Duck walked proudly, showing her babies the wonders around them. She taught them how to find yummy treats like juicy worms and shared stories about their ducky ancestors, who swam with the ancient dinosaurs. The ducklings learned about the dangers of the outside world, too. Mama Duck warned them about sly foxes and noisy cats, and showed them how to hide in the tall grass when they heard danger nearby. As the sun began to set, the ducklings felt tired and hungry. They snuggled close to their mama, and she led them back to their cozy nest. The 5 little ducks had so much fun exploring the world, and they knew there were many more adventures waiting for them. With Mama Duck by their side, they were ready to face anything. 5 Little Ducks, a heartwarming tale for kids and adults alike. Once upon a time in a quiet meadow nestled between rolling hills, there was a little pond teeming with life. On its banks stood an old willow tree that drooped gracefully towards the water, creating a natural shelter for the animals nearby. Among them lived a family of ducks. The proud mother duck and her 5 adorable ducklings spent their days swimming in the pond and searching for delicious snacks in the tall grass. The ducklings were curious and playful. They loved splashing in the shallow water and chasing each other around the willow tree. However, their mother often worried about their safety. She knew the world could be a dangerous place for little ducklings, and she constantly reminded them to be careful. "Stay close to me," she would quack, "and don't go wandering off on your own." The ducklings nodded obediently, but their adventurous spirits couldn't be contained for long. One sunny afternoon, while their mother was busy looking for food, the 5 little ducks decided to explore beyond the safety of the willow tree. "Let's go see what's over there," one of them suggested, pointing to a patch of tall grass swaying in the breeze. Before their mother could return and stop them, the curious ducklings had already slipped away. They waddled excitedly through the grass, their little webbed feet pattering softly on the ground. They had no idea of the dangers that lurked in the tall grass, waiting to pounce on unsuspecting ducklings. Suddenly, a pair of beady eyes appeared from behind a clump of grass. A sly fox with a bushy tail slowly emerged, eyeing the ducks with hungry anticipation. The little ducks, oblivious to the danger lurking so close, continued to play and explore. The fox crouched low to the ground, its fur blending seamlessly with the tall grass, and crept closer to its unsuspecting prey. Just when the fox thought it was close enough to make its move, a loud quack echoed through the field. Mother Duck had returned and was now standing protectively in front of her ducklings, her wings spread wide in a defensive stance. The fox, taken aback by the sudden appearance of the mother duck, hesitated for a moment. But its hunger got the better of it and it made a dash for the little ducks, who were now huddled together, trembling with fear. With a swift movement, Mother Duck ushered her ducklings under the protective cover of the willow tree. The fox, unable to reach them, snarled in frustration and slunk back into the tall grass, disappearing from sight. The little ducks, shaken but unharmed, emerged from under the tree and waddled back to their mother. She enveloped them in her warm embrace, her heart filled with relief and love. "Oh, my little ones," she quacked, her voice trembling with emotion. "I was so worried. Never wander off like that again." The ducklings snuggled close to their mother, their earlier curiosity forgotten. They understood now that the world could be a dangerous place, and that their mother's love and protection were the only things that truly mattered. As the sun began its slow descent, casting long shadows across the meadow, the ducks headed back to their cozy nest near the pond. They huddled together for warmth, and the little ducks dreamed of daring adventures yet to come, knowing that their mother's love and guidance would always be there to protect them. Ducklings in action. What happens when 5 little ducks go out to play? Once upon a time, in a world where ducklings ruled, there lived a family of 5 adventurous siblings. Now, these weren't ordinary ducklings. Oh no, they were the kind of ducklings who loved nothing more than playing games, going on quests and making mischief wherever they went. The eldest was Drake, a brave and curious fellow with a bright yellow bill. Next came Delilah, a sweet and gentle duckling with a soft pink bill. Then there was Fernando, the funny guy who always cracked jokes, even if they weren't that funny. After him was Florence, the tiniest of the bunch, who had a bill as white as snow. And finally, the youngest, Finley, with a green bill and a mischievous grin, was known for getting into all sorts of scrapes. Now, their mother, a wise and caring duck, had always warned them to be careful when they played near the water. But one day, as she was busy looking for some tasty snacks, the ducklings decided to have a little adventure of their own. "Let's go exploring," said Drake, leading the way with confidence. "We'll be back before Mother knows it," he added with a wink. Off they went, waddling down to the shimmering lake that lay just beyond their home. The water looked like a giant mirror, reflecting the clear blue sky above, and the ducklings couldn't resist its allure. "Let's go swimming," shouted Fernando, already paddling in the shallows. The others agreed, and soon they were all splashing and swimming, having the time of their lives. But then, as Florence paddled further out into the lake, she suddenly felt a sharp pain in her leg. She had stepped on a hidden rock and hurt her foot. "Oh dear," she cried, "I can't swim like this." Her sisters and brothers rushed to her side, and Drake, being the brave leader he was, declared, "Don't worry, Florence. I'll carry you back to shore." But as Drake started swimming back, the wind suddenly picked up, creating waves that tossed the poor duckling this way and that. "I'm scared," whimpered Florence, holding on to Drake for dear life. Seeing his sister's distress, Finley called out, "Don't worry, Florence, we'll protect you." And with that, he and Fernando swam out to help Drake. Together, they managed to get Florence back to the shallows. But as they did, the sky darkened, and fat raindrops began to fall. "We need to get out of here," yelled Delilah, her voice barely audible above the roar of the wind and rain. The ducklings huddled together, shivering and soaked. "I told you we should have listened to Mother," said Drake, feeling guilty. Just then, through the driving rain, they saw a familiar shape gliding towards them. It was their mother, her wings spread wide, shielding them from the worst of the wind and rain. "Come on, little ones," she quaked, "it's time to go home." With their mother's help, the ducklings made it back to their cozy nest, where they snuggled together to dry off. They had learned a valuable lesson that day. No matter how fun an adventure might seem, it wasn't worth risking their safety or upsetting their mother. From that day on, whenever they played near the water, they stuck together and listened to their mother's advice. And as they grew older, they became known throughout the land not only for their playful spirits, but also for their bravery, kindness, and most importantly, their unbreakable bond of sisterhood and brotherhood. From pond to table, the fascinating life cycle of ducks explained. Ducks are fascinating creatures that play a vital role in our ecosystem. They come in various shapes, sizes, and colors, and their life cycle is full of interesting stages that are essential for their survival. Let's dive into the incredible journey from pond to table and discover the fascinating world of ducks. During the first few weeks, the mother duck teaches her ducklings essential survival skills, such as finding food and avoiding danger. Understanding the different stages of a duck's life helps us appreciate the importance of protecting these fascinating creatures and their habitats. By learning about their life cycle, we can ensure that future generations will also marvel at these amazing birds.